All right. Okay. And let me start the recording. Okay. Welcome, everybody. Super excited. We are going to have one of the upcoming leaders in Maddux. She is going to do the presentation. Make sure you take notes, like always. And Cindy, the floor is yours.
Good morning, everybody. This is Cindy Maddux, and I actually am going to tell you a little bit about me really quick. I've been in the industry for over 45 years, and when George talks about John,
Cindy, you're muted. Sorry, you're muted. Okay.
okay,
Okay.
now
Okay.
can you hear
Perfect.
me? All
Okay.
right. Okay, I'll start again. Anyways, my name is Cindy Maddux, and I'm from Arroyo Grande, California. And I'm blessed, beyond blessed. I've been in the industry now for over 45 years, actually probably closer to 47. When George talks about John K. Lynch and he talks about Bob Proctor, I was lucky enough to work with both of them. I actually got to travel in the US and got to actually go to a lot of their training meetings back in the early days. And so, because I've been in the industry for a while, I've worked with a lot of different compensation plans and I've worked with a lot of different, always a product. And even if I was getting involved with another company, it was because there was a better product on the market. Everything was transitioning, things were getting better. It wasn't like I was leaving a company to just go jump into something else. You're going to find a lot of those people that do that. That was not me. I had a couple of companies that left me, and for a lot of you guys that don't know about the compensation plans or understand how wonderful this one is, I used to call it spinning plates because we had to have a 3,000 to 5,000 PV every single month in order to get compensated on our program, on our work. And so the thing that I learned really early with this, um, and being invited, I had just had my company that I loved um, go away. And within about 2 weeks, I got invited to take a look at three. Didn't know a name, didn't know a product, I didn't know anything. All I knew was I trusted the people that were giving me the information. And I believed that if they had a better product on the market, then that was something that I could go out and take to the marketplace. And that's basically what we have. And one of the things that I believe in this industry, that if you have a disruptive technology that nobody else has, and we do, because that's how I built a large business. And I've been blessed to have gone to the top of 4 different companies. I was with the other company, and it was really hard. In order to do the plan, I had to have 12 people in my front line, and most of them had to be doing at least $5,000 a month. And it just wasn't possible for a lot of people. They don't have the time. And so that's why it's so important that, when you think about, I'm blessed because my children I have a 400-acre ranch. Some of you guys know that I have Camp Maddux. This will be my last year hosting Camp Maddux personally, because now when I started, I was in my 30s and now I'm getting closer to 70. So the key is that, as we age, we have to take a look at what's important in our life. And one of the things that I know is our health. And I've had issues with not only my weight, but had some issues with my joints. And they wanted me to have 5 surgeries. And I said, no, I understand the difference between pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. And I believe that there's products out there that are life changing. And that's what I believe we have right here. So they were asking about a 90-day plan, most of you guys have been working on core 3. Okay. And a lot of you guys are succeeding. I've been on every single one of these training calls, and I've watched a lot of the people that are out there that are right now have some of the biggest successes that they'll ever have. Why? Because it works. And when you have something that works, you can duplicate it. So if you looked at 90 days and I said that every single person on here could be successful to the degree that they're willing to invest, because see, this is a business where you invest the most valuable asset that you have, and it's your time. And so when you let people waste it, you have to step back sometimes and say, wait a minute, is this a good fit for me? Or am I going to spend a lot of time with someone who basically just wants a product or just wants to consume my time? So you have to look at, if I have 90 days, and we all have that same 90 days. Some people don't, you guys. Some people didn't get up this morning. We're lucky that every one of us that are on here did. So if you're looking at a 90-day plan, what are you willing to do and what are you willing to give up to make that happen? I remember early on in the industry where I did not get to go on anniversary trips. I did not get to have birthdays because I was traveling all over doing exactly what everybody's doing now. They're out there mobilizing their business, mobilizing their people, and you guys want to get in front of as many people as possible because somebody else is going to. I live in a pretty small town. I think with the 5 cities area in our whole area with 6 different towns, there's about 250,000 people. Okay. And I just got a message that one of my girls from Napomo, which is about 12, 13 miles from me, just heard about three, but she didn't hear about it from me. Okay. She heard about it from somebody else that knew somebody else that knew somebody else. So key is that you don't want to waste your time and especially now when you're looking at going to convention. How many people are you going to have at convention? How many rooms do you already have booked? Are you ready for what successes are coming, or are you sitting back and just thinking, well, I'm not sure if anybody's going to go with me, or and I don't care if you put 4 people in a room, you guys. I remember people in the early years of this where I had a lady that slept in a bathtub. You know why? Because there was no room anyplace else. And she was the tiniest lady in the room. And she said, I'll sleep in the bathtub. And I'll never forget that as long as I live because she wanted it so bad. She was willing to do whatever. So now we have a lot of things in George and Adrian have been phenomenal. I've been blessed to be able to just link and lock arms with all of you guys that are doing a lot of this training that is helping people to succeed. And the one thing that I can tell you is you're going to run into a lot of whiners, and I'm going to let you know. Right.
I sent you comments. I took pictures of the comments. It was blowing off the chat.
All right. All right, listen,
Okay.
put yourself on mute, honey.
And Christine, when I tell everybody about you, every time I hear you talk, you just make me think I can maybe do this for 10 more years because I'm pushing 70. And then I think about you and I think, wow, wow, so the key is that nobody has the opportunity right now to say not, they might say not now, but not forever. And so I just believe that, when you think about every day getting up, and I used to say, and I'm a Christian, I'm not afraid to admit it, but I would get up every day and I would say, today I get to do God's work. There are no accidents. The people that I run into are the people that I'm supposed to meet. I don't believe in accidents. And never, ever, ever did I, at the end of the day, go, oh man, I just wished I just wish that I had a lot more time, because we don't want to waste it. But I'm going to tell you a little caveat that's been working for me. I go to a lot of events. I'm very big in our community. I do a lot in our community, and a lot of people know me. And so a lot of people respect me. That's a good place to be when you live in a small town. I'm listening to a lot of you guys that have a lot of that you can utilize, that you can start getting those referrals from. And I just said every one day a week, if you just use one day a week and you spent 3 hours a day just getting referrals. If I called Christine and I said, Christine, my heart. Can you think of anybody right now, anybody that has skin? Can you think of anybody Because I'm going to let you know right now that I have an opportunity for anybody that has skin that can actually go out and can do some good, make some good money, but also that they can that they could go out and they can help people internally and externally. I know a lot of young people that have acne challenges, and literally, you guys, one woman gave me 7 names. 7 names. So I just thought, wow. And she's from my church. And I just said, I said, I would love for you, I said, to help me go out and change the world. And she said, well, you've been doing that since I met you. And so the key is that we're doing that anyways, you guys. But when you go into your community and you think, okay, if I'm going to look at my week, how many of you guys do this part-time? How many of you guys do this full-time? I've been a full-time networker now for over 45 years. I've traveled the world. I've been blessed. Going to be on my 51st free trip. I've had multiple free cars. I didn't have a pink one. I have to let you know. I had a white. I got to go and pick my own car, but I respected all those pink cars driving down the road because I knew how hard they had to work to get those cars. I knew what they were doing every single day, and they were doing demonstrations. Every one of you can do the same thing. Every one of us have demonstratable products. When I hear everybody talking about people smiling and are happier because they're using our products, it just makes my heart sing. Why? Because it's the truth. And when you can go back out and do what you're supposed to do, and you do it because it's the right thing to do, then I think those are the blessings that we get every single day. And at the end of the day, I used to tell everybody, and Bob Proctor was good for this. He would say, write yourself a check. And he said, at the end of the week, he said, just make sure that you've done enough to cash it. If you haven't done enough to cash that check, if you write that check and you put it on the wall, and then at the end of the week, you kind of tap danced around all the things that you could have done or should have done or would have done. Okay, there should be a shirt like that. The coulda, shoulda, woulda club, because there are a lot of people out there that are a part of that. They could have joined you in the beginning. They should have joined you in the beginning, but they had all the reasons why they couldn't. Okay. So the key is that when you get to the end of the week, can you cash that check? And I'll never forget that as long as I live. And I said, I'm going to write myself a $5,000 check. And I'm going to tell you something. The company that I was working for had a bonus plan. And that check was not $5,000 at the end of that week, which in those days it was a month. We didn't get paid weekly. I got a $10,000 check. And I just remember asking, who do I have to pay out of that check? Who do I give money to? And they said, well, that's your check, Cindy. And I'll never forget, I kept thinking, I get $10,000. So I must have done something right. And you guys, I'm going to tell you something. Get up every single day and you do something right. Okay. You got out of bed, you got dressed, you got your, I literally, you guys, I have 50 of these. Okay. These are my little composition notebooks. Now that I'm getting older, I take my phone everywhere. Every party that I go to, every invite that I go to, I take pictures of everybody. You know why? Because I can't remember everybody I'm supposed to put on my list when I get home, because there are so many people there that I'm thinking, oh gosh, what was her name? But then I can go home and I can channel through, who was that? Okay, I spoke to her, and then I can put them back on my list. I can add them to my list. And I spoke to a couple on Saturday. I was doing a big peddlers fair for a fundraiser for Camp Maddux, one of my final fundraisers for Camp Maddux. And I'm going to tell you something. I ran into at least 30, 40 people that I knew. They came there to help support me, but they came and I could give them information. And so I just sat down and I thought, wow, 90 days, what could we achieve in 90 days? I've done multiple 90-day plans, you guys, multiple. Being in this industry for more than a year, more than 40 plus years, you're going to do a lot of 90-day programs, but you have to understand that, again, you can waste it. And I used to say, winners aren't whiners and whiners aren't winners. And if you do not let those people whine all day long about nobody showed up. I came to the meeting and nobody was there. Did you pick up anybody? Did you take them to the meeting? A lot of people would say, well, I don't have time for that. They live in another town. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I guarantee you'll have somebody there if you pick them up and you take them. You're going to have somebody at that conference if you pick them up and you take them, or you have a meeting place where you're going to meet them. Why? Because it's that important. And a lot of the things that we're hearing from day to day to day to day, okay, I'm going to tell you something. My husband's been working out in the garden, and I heard this from one of our big guys in the industry. He was actually he was the top distributor in New Skin. That was the other previous company that I was with. And I came into that company running like you guys are doing right now with the Core 3 plan, but it was the Race to Ruby. And I created this little plan that was going to go out and change, how we moved in the marketplace. And it's exactly what we're doing right now. And I had him call me and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, and I use it every day. I still do it to this day. I told him, I said, get a piece of paper and you fold it into 4 quadrants. And I said, and at the top of that quadrant, you put family. The next section, you put friends. The next one, you put business. And the next one, you put community. And literally, family, friends, business, community. And every single one of those categories had 10 people's names. And you had to go find 10 people. And I'm going to tell you something right now, you guys. You have a 10 times more chance to win right now than I did in the beginning, because I had over 100 products that I could talk about. And right now we can focus on a mobile product that can move people, that can make them money daily into the marketplace. And I guarantee you that every person that you talk to, can tell you no or tell you yes, but they all have skin. They all have skin. And somebody laughed at me the other day and they said, "What did you say?" And I said, "I'm just looking for people right now that can help me take a product to the marketplace. That's the method of distribution that our company has chose to use. That's what network marketing is. It's the method of distribution that's going to take a product to the marketplace, and they're going to pay me to advertise for them." Okay. So that's my job. How I get paid. I get to advertise that product, and they're going to compensate me daily. And if you know anybody with skin, you're in. And they just looked at me and said, "I know a lot of people. I know everybody with skin, Cindy." That's a trick question, right? And I'm telling you guys, I got so many people's attention. People were walking over to where I was sitting and going, "What did you say?" And I said, everybody that you know right now that has skin, okay? I said, there's an opportunity connected to that. Is that something you might want to get more information about? If you young moms want to be stay-at-home moms, which I was blessed, I was able to stay at home with my children. I was able to, we're debt free. I have to tell you that. That was a goal. That we have a 400-acre ranch, and we have our children and our grandchildren that live next door. They all have their homes right here, minus one. And today's my grandson's 28th birthday. He's lived here his whole life. So when you think about what does a blessing look like, I get to see it every day. I have a great granddaughter who's 5 years old, and we get to go see her at 10 o'clock this morning. She's going to sing for us at her school. So think about, what could I do in the next 90 days? How many people could I invite to be a part of my Core 4 challenge, to be able to take a product to the marketplace with disruptive technology that Dr. Gubler has made for us? There's no other product out there that compare to what we have. No other product out there that has all of their products in the PDR. I worked for a company that had 2, and we thought we were lucky. But I'm telling you, when you have that disruptive technology and you can mobilize it through people, that's how we do it. You're just mobilizing it through people. And we use the collagen to do that. Or right now, I used to ask people, I said, how many of you guys have at least 10 to 12 bottles of nutritional supplements sitting on your counter? And I mean nutritional supplements. I'm not talking about the garbage that you buy at Costco and all the CVS pharmacy and Long's Drug. I want to know if it's nutritional products. And can you prove it to me? Well, we just happen to know that we can, and we can show you the efficacy in the product that we have. So if I could do that every single day, I spent 2 hours on my business every single day. Okay, what could I accomplish in the next 90 days? And if I told every one of you that in my front yard, there was $1 million, but there are 1,000 rocks sitting on top of it. And the only thing I had to do was move those 1,000 rocks to get to that $1 million. Would I do it? Well, of course I would. Why? Because I know it's there. And the key is that every one of you should know that it's there. Every single one of you has that same $1 million sitting out in your front yard. You get to decide, am I going to pick up those rocks? Am I going to go out every day? Am I going to share? Or am I going to pick up all those rocks by myself? Or am I going to invite 12 other people to help me pick those up? I have people coming out to pick in the garden, help pick the weeds in the garden. Why? Because they want free vegetables. Okay. You give people a why and you give people a reason, and I guarantee you they will jump through hoops like you've never ever, thought, wow, can it be this easy? It really can, you guys. Why? Because if you lead with your heart and you look at every one of us are going to get that same 90 days. Every single one of us are going to get to invite as many people as we want. We have a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the next 90 days. What are you going to do? How many of you guys have that dream board out? Do you guys know that I have 9 dream boards? And on every single one of those dream boards, there might be 1 or 2 items that I've moved to the next dream board, but they've all been accomplished. Every single one of them. You know why? Because I put it on there. I got the picture. I put the car on there. I wanted to scholarship 10 of my kids to go to camp last year. And basically that's a goal for me. So if you don't have something, if you want to donate something big to your church, or if you want to donate to your community, or if you want to go out and do something big for the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Campfire, if you're not a part of your community, it's time. And I don't care how old you are, it's time to go out there and be the person that God intended you to be. And we get to do it in an industry that's going to pay us to give back to our community, give back to our families, give back to the people. There are people out there that need our products, and there's not one person on here that could not go out and give away a product to somebody in need if they had an abundance, not only of money, but they had an abundance of products. And you guys, every one of you has opportunity right now to go in and purchase. Okay, you're in business. You have the opportunity to purchase with a tax write-off. I work with a lot of accountants, been doing this for a while. And all those things are a write-off. You're going to travel. You're going to fly. You're going to get in a car and go somewhere. It's a write-off. I'm going to have the oil done in my car and get it detailed. It's a write-off. Why? Because I have to have it done in order to get from point A to point B. And it is my business. So make sure, you guys, that you are doing what you need to do to advance your business and take the challenge, okay? Start moving those rocks. And just remember, you guys, I'm going to tell you, you all have that same 1,000 rocks sitting out in your front yard. And you get to decide, am I going to do this by myself, or am I going to do this with somebody else? And I'm going to invite. Your number one job is to be a recruiter for 3 International, and you're able to do that all over the globe. So think about who it is that you want on your team. I played baseball for 10 years, and I'm going to tell you something. I was a great catcher, except that it took out my knees. Okay. It took out my knees. And with the extra weight, I fell off out here. I fell off a cliff, a 2-story cliff head first. And I was laid up for almost 18 months. But I'm going to tell you something. I did not have one surgery, put on an extra weight. And I always tell everybody, never judge the book by its cover. Never judge the book by its cover, because you don't know the heart of that person, whether you think somebody is or isn't able to afford our products, or does not want to be a part of something this big. You don't have the right to not let them know. If their name goes on a list and you have a chicken, I have a list, and on the top of it, it used to have a chicken. And up there was a little chicken. And I said, every one of you has a chicken list. It's time to get every single name off that chicken list. If you thought of them and you thought enough of them to put them on the list, now it's time to get them off. I think I'm done, George.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent. And so many
Any
things.
questions?
By the way, interesting. I know I started Nu Skin too, many
Uh-huh.
ago. Well, I'm talking in 1991 or 92, something like
That was
that.
me. I was there. I was
Oh,
there.
perfect.
Yes.
And interesting, they were going into momentum around those times,
Mm-hmm.
and they were
Mm-hmm.
using the skincare, telling people try this or testing
Uh-huh.
and half of the face and all stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a much better product than Nu Skin
Yes,
have.
we do. Yes, we do.
And by the way, you guys, I'm talking to guys now. Guys, many of the leaders in Nu Skin were guys doing the same
Yes,
thing,
they were.
testing the skincare. I mean,
Yes,
people
they were.
like Nathan Riggs and
Oh,
Mark,
yeah.
Mark Barrett, all those guys. That means that everybody has a skin. Everybody.
That's
And
right.
we have products that are so unique. But I love your
Yes.
enthusiasm. And yes, set yourself a 90-day challenge. You can start at any time, like today.
Today.
Like
Today.
today.
And the other thing about Nathan, I traveled with Nathan for 2 years. I
Yeah,
was
great guy.
and when, and it was probably one of the worst days of my life was when Nathan passed
Yeah, in
away. But
accident.
I
Yeah.
learned a lot from Nathan. He said to me, and he came to my ranch and he came to my church more than once, but he said, every single time you go to do your business, he said, just put on the door that the doctor's in and I'm in surgery right now. And if you let somebody come in and take that time and disrupt you and get in your mojo, he said, what's going to happen is that person that's laying there waiting to have surgery is going to die. So you have to go in there. And he said, if you're going in for 6 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours to get all of your calls done, he said, you just put on your door and your family knows that the doctor's in. And you go in and you make sure that you don't let anybody distract you from being successful.
Yes, I agree. Nathan Riggs, by the way, in 1992, he has one of the best prospecting videotapes ever.
I have
Uh,
it. I
that were
listen to it all the time, George.
yeah, yeah,
I
with
still do.
yes, amazing. He was to Catch the Wave was called
Mhm.
because Nu Skin at the time was on momentum. Guess what, guys? We are getting close to momentum. Catch the wave. Let's talk. That
Mhm.
video was amazing, and he was
Yeah.
an amazing guy, one of the best networkers.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was. Yes.
Sadly, he died in the airplane accident. He was
Plane
flying
crash.
some
Yeah.
jet.
Yeah.
I think he was
Yeah.
flying his own jet. I don't remember when
Yeah, he
happened,
was. He was.
but
He was actually going to the Rose Bowl here in
yes, I remember
California.
that.
He was going to the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
But he was a beautiful man. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful heart. But boy, was he tough. He was a tough cookie. It was like, okay, we're going to do this. And
Yes.
I was able to do, and I don't know what position you were in
Under
news,
Mark Barrett.
but I did Blue Diamond in 13 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Okay. For
did.
those of
Yeah,
you
Race to
that,
Ruby Race to Ruby 3 times, and I did. I was one of the fastest women producers in Pharmanex with the biophotonic scanner. I had 56 scanners because of the health professionals that I was working with in my business. And I just wanted as many scanners to prove the efficacy of a product. And we have Dr. Dan to do that same thing
yes,
because you're just proving that.
something I was going to mention. Blue Diamond is having 12 execs, I think, is to become executive where people keeping certain kind of volume every month. If you didn't have it, you had to start all over again. And that was
Yes.
very hard. It's interesting because many times we complain that, oh, gee, I have only 2 legs. I cannot find 2 legs. It's so simple. That's why
Uh-uh.
some people in the early times. And by the way, to have those 12 executives, you probably have to go to 100 legs to find
Yes.
12 executives.
Yes. Yeah. That's why they created the Nourish the Children. So
Yes.
that business could help them expedite leverage in the company for people that only had 4 legs that were actually working and the rest they were actually taking care of. But
Wow.
I actually was the only woman that did not have anybody join my team. Nobody helped me build it. And I was in my 4th month of qualifying team elite when I had my accident.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
4th month.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's why it's very, for those of you that have been in Mary Kay, understand how hard it is to build all those directs. Well, it's similar in Nu Skin. It's very similar. It's why it's impressive. And do it in that time, it's in 30 months. You go do the same thing, any of you do the 2 legs, no,
Yep.
12 liters, 12 liters, 12,
Yeah.
12 L1s. Imagine your matching bonuses.
Oh, well,
Because
I came into this with not knowing anything, and I signed up 21 founders in my first 48 hours.
oh, wow.
Why? Because why wouldn't you want to be a founder? Why wouldn't you want to be a part of something that was going to happen? And because even though I didn't know what I was marketing at the time, I was marketing me. I was marketing my success in the previous platform, and I was the number one distributor in that previous platform before they went away, and broke my heart, and really broke my heart because I loved them. I was with Stephen Malin Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
And they
Oh,
were with,
yeah. Oh, that this company for you. What was the name?
Limitless.
Limitless. Yeah.
It was
I just talked to him
Limitless.
yesterday, by the way.
Try
Yeah.
to come back and have breakfast.
You
Yeah.
just saw Steve? Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I
Yeah,
talk to Malin
he was
every
here.
week.
I know him for years, for
Oh,
many,
yeah.
many,
Yeah, I
many,
love
many,
Steve.
many, many years.
Yeah. I love
Okay.
Stephen Malin. All right, you guys.
Okay, thank you very much. It was an amazing call. Anybody has a comment? We have a minute where if you want to make a comment, because it was not only the excitement, but the many little tips here and there that they're not little, by the way, they're huge, but that can help you to build the business. And of course, enthusiasm is one of them.
Hey, George, I just want to say, Cindy, you were great. I took notes. It was awesome. I would say that you have skin in the game. Sorry.
Yeah. So do you, and it's beautiful.
And Cindy always has, I love getting on the phone. We talk, and we are going to do a California tour coming up May 31st. We're going to have a meeting in Yuba City. It's near Sacramento. So if you know anybody there, send them our way. We'll take care of them for you. And we're just really excited. I love how you said that the gal slept in the bathtub. We are doing a push to Salt Lake City. And we used to call it the human carpet. It's like, we don't care, no matter what, just get there, and we'll make sure you get into that event and it happens. There's always a way to get to Salt Lake City. So thank you so much, Cindy, for this morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Fabulous, Cindy. You're a true leader. What an inspiration. No excuses.
You inspire me, girlfriend. You inspire me. I haven't missed a call, a training since I started watching you, going, if she can do it, I can do it all over again. I can do it. I saw you in Las Vegas, and I commend you. I commend you. So it was great.
By the way, the recording for this is on the right side if you want to copy the YouTube channel. Because you want to hear this again, and many people that you have in your team that cannot be on the calls in the morning, make sure you send the link to.
And I want to thank my team for all jumping up this morning and getting on. So I know a lot of them were able to get on this morning. You guys, I have to go see a 5-year-old sing. So I've got to run. My great-granddaughter's singing this morning.
Thank you, Cindy. You were just amazing.
Oh, you too, Antoinette.
Oh my gosh, so amazing.
I'm going to watch this over and over and over again.
Well, thank you. But just remember, you can only recruit the people with skin. None of you has an excuse to not starting to recruit, because everybody you know has skin. Everyone, guys and gals, you guys. And I'm telling you, when I said that, one of the guys looks over and he just goes, I have skin. I go, well, I sure heck hope so. So have fun with it, you guys, because you know what? It's a great open door to asking people to come in and join you, because we're taking a product to the marketplace that we only have. And you have to think about, what can our product do? What can we do with that product? Okay. And you know what? And all the imperfections that people seem to think they have, and there's every gadget out there on Facebook right now. And I just laugh, and I'm thinking, gosh, you got to start inside. You got to start inside, you guys. And I'm going to tell you something. The biggest thing you got to take care of, number one, is your heart. Number one. So blessings, everybody.
Blessings to you.
Thank you. Have an amazing day. See you later.
Bye, you guys.
Everybody has a great day. And tonight, 7 o'clock, opportunity call. Make sure you invite people to